Hey, welcome everyone. Fox 10 Talks PM edition, Wednesday afternoon. I'm Brian Webb with Trenton Hooker. We have Ashlie Gomez helping us out back there. Big D, of course. Join us on YouTube if you'd like. Nicole Krasean, she was I think our first guest.
Yes.
Then dropped us like a hot potato. I haven't seen her in months.
No,
She
gone.
moved on to bigger and better things. We'll have her on with a heartwarming story, breaking and warming story coming up. But first, we want to talk to Ashlie Rodriguez about some news of the week, the biggest news of the week, right?
Yes, all of these busts at different locations for Zip Sports Grill across the valley. I think it caught us all as a little bit of a shock on Monday night as this just came down like a hammer, it seemed like.
Kind of like shocking, but not surprising. We all have been kind of anticipating some sort of immigration crackdown would come here, rumor on top of rumor, and then
this was one that we also got the preemptive press release where the Department of Justice, the Arizona district, sent out a release saying that this is an HSI investigation and not really hitting any points to reveal that it was an ICE investigation at first, but certainly a lot of new details that Ashley's been uncovering today have told a different story. Ashlie, you're outside of a Zips right now, actually, right?
Yes, so this is, of course. All right, let me get back in the car. I was going to show it to you, but so it's behind me right now. And yes, so this Tempe location, we got word that it was opening at 11. So we came by here, and believe it or not, I think we got here at like maybe 11:20. There was already people inside. There was already like, I don't know, something like 25, 30 people inside. So Zips has a loyal fan base. They said they're going to continue to open up locations throughout the week. This is the first. We talked to a patron inside who said he noticed some different faces, but he hears that they are allowing employees from all the locations to kind of cycle through because the legal employees are not making money. We're talking about dozens of people who are out of work. So then also today we confirmed, because there's been so many rumors as to why all the locations were raided by federal agents. So we were able to confirm with both DHS and ICE that they did detain and arrest 35 undocumented immigrants. So while the scope of this investigation includes not only undocumented employees, but identity theft and document fraud, so far the only people arrested, about 35 or so, is because they do not have their papers. And we were able to talk to an attorney who represents a couple that were detained out of 32nd Street. And they have been in this country coming from Mexico for over 20 years. And they have worked at Zips in the kitchen for about 18 of those years. Now get this. This attorney, her name is Cherie Wright. She says that many different businesses out here will use a employee identification number in lieu of a social security number. And that means that these employees, while they don't have a social security card, they are registered and they do pay taxes. But she believes that the IRS is working with ICE to tip off ICE about different businesses that have maybe a large number of people using this employee identification number over a social security number.
Wow, that seems like that opens up a legal hornet's nest right there if those two agencies are working together. And do you know, so I assume they think that is probable cause in and of itself?
Wow, I haven't thought about that. I mean, yeah.
I would guess
But the thing is, I guess if you have that tip, right, and then you go in, as we saw they did, they pretty much surrounded the restaurants. They told the patrons inside, you got to go pay your tab. And then they just start asking people for paperwork. And if you can't produce paperwork, you're detained. I was able to find the daughter, Rosa Barrera, whose two parents, those two people, that married couple, are now detained. The mom is at Eloy. The father is still detained here in Phoenix. Get this. She's 18 years old. She is now the sole caretaker of her three younger siblings, 15, 10, and 4. The 4-year-old has special needs. She's like, I think we're going to start selling food to raise money to pay this attorney to get our parents back. But we know what this looks like. It looks like they might be deported. And literally, they have 4 kids under the age of 18 with no parents here. So there's always two sides to this story. There's many arguments to be had, but if we're just looking at the facts right here, you have a ton of employees out of work, and you have families shattered right now.
Well, and like you said, with two sides to it as well, we're definitely trying to get some answers from ICE since Monday about what's been happening, but that seems like it's been a struggle just to get them to get a statement on the record about what's going on.
Yeah, so we got all of that probably around noonish, 1-ish today. So yeah, so it happened Monday night, and it took till Wednesday to get some clarity. But that's all we're getting. We were able to interview the marketing director for Zips, and it's so funny. They hired like a crisis PR team, and I'm trying
As
to
one
interview
does.
yeah, and I'm trying to interview this woman, and the crisis PR person is right next to her, Trenton. It's David. And
Yes.
she goes, the investigation is ongoing. We can't say anything more, but we know we have customers who want our services, so we wanted to open at least one location. And we go, well, how are the employees doing? And the PR person goes, that's all she can say. And then she would go to like open her mouth and say something else. And then he'd be like, no, she can't. That's all she could say. That's all she can say. So Zips really isn't talking other than we have an open investigation. We're being investigated. And again, it's undocumented immigrants, it's fraud, document fraud, and it's identity theft. Now, I was speaking with a patron who was kind of just like, this is a border state. This is Arizona. I mean, this is everybody. And if we're talking about these people have a let me get the exact phrase. It's called a individual taxpayer identification number, or ITIN. So it's not Social Security. They're not here legally, but they are registered as taxpayers. I mean, there's going to be a lot of businesses in the Valley area that probably have employees just like this. And the patron went on to say, like, Zips is not the first. Zips will not be the last.
And go ahead, Ashlie. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I think this is ringing the alarm bells for businesses who might have employees in their kitchens under this kind of designation. And I don't, again, we haven't confirmed that the IRS is informing ICE, but if that is how ICE is getting tipped off, business owners need to start thinking now how they're going to protect their employees.
Well, and I wonder if is Zips in any kind of trouble. I remember back in the SB 1070 days, they'd come pull the dishwashers out of the back, but the business wouldn't get in any trouble. So there was that question. And then we've clearly pivoted away from just finding the worst of the worst criminals. And now we're finding people who are paying taxes and working in restaurants. So that's a definite switch.
Yep. New year.
And that's the other thing. Yes. So the names of this couple, it's Jose Barrera and Monica Jimenez. He's 44. She's 38. Parents of 4. No criminal history.
Yeah.
No criminal history. So they literally got tipped off and went in and asked for papers, and anyone who doesn't have it. So again, that was a bait and switch a little bit from what the Trump administration initially said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming. Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Well, Ashlie, thank you.
Thank you, Ashlie.
Live report at 4. We'll look forward to that.
Thanks, Ashlie.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sorry I wasn't Nicole, but I'm happy to help.
Shots fired. Okay. Wow. Off to the races. Well, Nicole, I know that you have a lot of things that you're always working on during the week that I find absolutely fascinating, but I thought your story in particular last night, as we neared that 1-year mark of when Emily Pike went missing on Tuesday, a year ago, just so many cases out there and so many families hurting. But can you talk to us about that real quick?
Yeah. So yesterday was the anniversary of the last day that Emily Pike was seen alive. We all know she was in a group home in Mesa, and she left the group home and she was reported missing and then was found dead. You know, it's just a case that has really renewed a lot of interest in the conversation about missing and murdered Indigenous people in general, but particularly women and girls. So I think her case is, the one that a lot of people have heard about, but we have had 2 other cases that we're very familiar with here in Arizona that have happened since then. So last night, what we did is we combined all 3 of the cases to show that there are people out there who sometimes bring up are there statistics to really show that missing and murdered Indigenous people this is happening at a higher rate? And to them, I will always say, I do believe there's data. It's been underreported in past years, but now we have 3 cases in 1 year here in Arizona, all unsolved, all death investigations. Chalistea Teokolole up in White River, and then little 8-year-old Molly Boone, which we know was still something that they haven't ruled officially a homicide yet, but they are
which
saying
blows my mind on
the
that
FBI
one.
is involved.
Right.
They're asking for
a reward.
information. They're asking for a reward. So you read between the lines, you can come to the conclusion that there are 3 death investigations that are happening, likely 3 homicide death investigations involving these Indigenous girls. So we wrapped it all together yesterday. Each case is very important. Each case deserves its own story. But yesterday we took the opportunity to say it's been a year since Emily. There are 2 other little girls, and there are 2 other communities now, 3 communities total that are dealing with this. So definitely Fox10Phoenix.com, check out that story and continue. We're going to continue to talk about it. We're doing an on the record on Monday. Justin Lum and I are.
Can I just throw it out there? Is there any sense that this happened, the culprit was someone from the reservation? Because
Sure.
someone else might stand out.
Sure. I think that's a lot of what the discourse that's happening on the reservation and in the comments that you see is that it's somebody who likely is, if not known to the girls personally, a familiar person to them, but that has not been said publicly or by any investigators at this point. That is what I see a lot. And when I talk to people off the record from the reservation, though, that seems to be a thought that it might be someone that is within the community or communities. So
Teokolole's family.
Yes.
You spoke with them last night. And,
Yes.
And I know that Justin had had a brief conversation before when she first went missing, but you were able to speak. Some time has passed since then. What's the feeling on their search for justice for their daughter?
So I will tell you, in talking with them, it's a devastation where they can barely get through answering my questions. This is something that they feel very, very, strongly about in terms of the fact that she was not a runaway. They were reporting her missing. She is gone now, and someone did this to her. But the just level of devastation that I saw on the mother's face, particularly, she couldn't get through an answer without bawling. So just devastating all around.
Nicole, can you hang with us for just a second?
Yeah.
And we'll be coming back right after the break. I'd like to get into a little more with the national attention that certainly Emily Pike's story got.
Great.
But you're watching Fox 10 Talks. We got a lot of fun coming up in the next hour.
Burritos
Our
and
next half hour. Break. Hey, we're back on Fox 10 Talks. We're having a fascinating discussion with Nicole Krasean on the missing and murdered Indigenous girls and women that Arizona, of course, has become in the national spotlight about that. Emily Pike's case, as Tuesday was the 1-year mark since she went missing, and it was Valentine's Day, correct, that she was found murdered in Gila County. Now, what I did want to just touch on a little bit, if we could, was the national attention that this got with all the way up to FBI Director Kash Patel. I mean, really, this was his first major case that he was talking about besides national politics, at least on an FBI investigation, really, where he did fly out to Arizona, correct, and met with the families.
Yeah, and there's a photo, I believe they were flown out to Washington. But, well, you're right. They might have been doing it in Arizona. There was definitely a couple of meetings, and there's a photo of him with Emily's Uncle Allred, her Aunt Carolyn, and, you know, he made a very big proclamation about how he was going to be looking into this. And there was the formation of the Operation Never Forgotten task force that was, I believe, a 6-month task force that was going to look into these cases. We've heard of some potential cases that were solved through that. Emily's, unfortunately, has not reached that point. But it does speak to the level of attention and the level of awareness that Emily's case has now given this entire issue. And going back to Tia's family, they told me last night, next month, they're actually going over to Reno, Nevada. They've been invited to the Red Dress Powwow, and they'll be honoring her there and spreading awareness. So this is something that's crossing state lines and going all the way to DC. So all we can hope is that level of attention and awareness can lead to a break in the case. But as you brought up, you know, it's going to take somebody knowing who did this and somebody speaking out. And that's always the hardest part, right?
Quick tease about your story today.
Yes. So we have a follow-up. Around Labor Day 2024, we did a story about these friends. That gentleman, Ryan Stewart, was killed on the 101 2020, was driving his car, had to change a tire, and he was killed. Well, he was driving his beloved Subaru 209. Only 209 models have been made. They restored his car. That's what it looked like in 2024. They did all of this with, you know, healing in mind and the message of drunk driving. The man who hit him was a drunk driver. So tonight at 9 and 10, you're going to see the restored vehicle, catch up with them, and hear about an event they're hosting this weekend, Southwest Speed Festival, that all plays into this message about safe driving in memory of their beloved friend. Really cool. They did a really great job restoring the car, too. It looks really nice.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
9 and 10?
9 and 10.
All right, Nicole.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for
First
having
guest
me.
Cool.
and
Appreciate
our
it.
last guest.
Yes.
This
Until
is our last show, right?
Well, you never know.
That's
They
fair.
could pull the plug on us at any second.
Yes.
Well, I hope not, but thank you guys.
Thanks, Nicole.
Bye, Nicole.
You ready to talk some Burrito League?
Let's do it. Now tell me about how you found this story and
So
where you got
I
off
just
to
saw
it.
this somewhere, and it was kind of getting press around town. And it was one of the most fun stories I've done in a long time, the Burrito League, and where people are kind of running back and forth in Tempe and other communities really around the world. And it just was such a cool grassroots kind of thing that, and you know, I didn't know what I was going to find when I got out there, but guess who I found? Jamil, Coury and Dyer, and you guys took this and ran with it. An idea, right? Jamil, take it from there. You won last year's competition under the Chipotle umbrella. Talk me through that.
Yeah, it was a partnership between Chipotle and the fitness app Strava. And if you run the most segments, which is just a short 2-block stretch there in Tempe, anchored off a Chipotle restaurant, you win a year's worth of Chipotle burritos.
Man, that must be sweet, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
Or do you get sick of burritos? I don't know.
I haven't got through all of them yet, but I'm going to try.
Well, I've got to ask, because when I was watching Brian's story and he was showing the dedication people have, even changing where they're living to be closer to the route, was there a point in time when you were competing in the race where you're like, this is just too much, like I can't handle this? Or were you like, okay, all gas all the way, I'm going to make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, for me last year, I got completely obsessed, and it was like a one-track mind. I had to be on segment as much as I could.
The cool thing about it, one of the many cool things about it, is how it is that short track back and forth, and you end up seeing the same people over and over again. And the Greggy, the guy I was running with, he's like, oh, she's got a new shirt on, and hey, I've never seen him before. So really, that community is so tight-knit. Connor, talk to me about how fast it spread and how far it spread.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it was just after we announced it, the day after, so many people were just hitting us up because initially we were just focused on opening it up for Tempe. And then people were reaching out saying, how can we create a Burrito League segment, in our local community? And so within the first few days, I mean, it's like, wow, we're in 30 cities, we're in, 60. And then it's like, oh, wow, this is spread internationally. And, at this point, we're now up to over 120 leagues in like 8 countries.
Why do you think
Wow.
it took off like that?
There's just something about the competition of it and the community that's formed about it. And I think a little bit of inspiration from what we did last year, where, we're running sometimes 50 miles a day on a really short stretch. Like the absurdity, I think, catches people's imagination and it gets a bit addicting.
What do you do if you're overseas and you win and you can't get a good burrito? Like I'm in Shanghai and I'm like, where's Taco Bell? I mean, these are crap.
Shout out to Taco
What's going
Bell.
to happen? Would you guys, would the company, I guess, come in and
funny
just
you asked
get it to
that.
them?
We're setting up a league in Bangalore, India.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And I'm starting to find out that there are burrito places like coined
Yes.
Mexican cuisine
Excuse my
in
ignorance.
India.
Yeah.
So, we're learning stuff as we go as well.
And I don't
So
think I did
cool.
a good job during the story announcing
No, you
this, but
didn't.
like each individual community needs to come up with its own awards. It's just not always burritos for a year.
Yeah, exactly. There's been some real creativity out there. I think we've seen pizza for a year. I think there was haircuts for a year. There's like all kinds of things. And that's really the cool thing is the local communities are really buying into this concept. They're seeing increased foot traffic and just such a positive community.
I love looking at your phone last time when you were showing me the world map, and it's just like dots everywhere.
Oh yeah. No,
It's so great.
crazy. And there's a lot of people even today, right? With the announcement.
Oh yeah, go
But
with
I'll-
that.
What
Some
happened?
new
I'll let
news.
Jamil covered that, but basically we're gonna just see more and more interest in how do we create a league, and we want to let folks know that it's not too late just because it's the end of the month and this inaugural event ends. We're encouraging everybody to either get prepared for 2027 or incorporate it into their local run club's calendar and give them the freedom to spin up these ad hoc events throughout the year. So yeah, I'll let Jamil.
Yeah, take it away, Jamil. Some new
Yeah,
news today.
Well, yeah, really like the technology behind this challenge of like collecting these segments and keeping track of it all happens on the fitness app Strava. There's over 180 million people on this. And all you need is the free app. So there's not even an entry fee for this event. But we announced an official partnership with them. They're sponsoring a free burrito for everyone that comes out to a qualifying Burrito League this Saturday. It's the last day of the challenge for the month. So if you come out and you record on Strava, check in with the local host there, and you'll get a free burrito.
That's
Can't beat
awesome.
a free burrito.
How are we doing on our leaderboard so far?
Oh my
Is
goodness.
it a tight competition?
In Tempe, there's a bit of a lead gap, but I'm seeing some of these cities, they're like each day there's a new, what they call local legend. That's the person that is in the lead, and they're trading back and forth. And I mean, the competitions are getting intense in some cities.
That was kind of how yours went
stretch.
last year, right? You didn't,
Yeah.
and you don't know till the end of that day that you had won.
Right. Yeah. There's not live tracking, say, in a marathon where you can just pull it up on the app in real time. You record on your watch or on your phone and upload it at the end of the day. So it's a bit of a mystery until you hit that upload.
Wow. Can you talk about that moment where you found out, like, I actually did it?
Yeah. I mean, my final Strava activity last year was about 41 hours.
Wow.
Did 130 miles, and we were standing on the street corner here in Tempe at 9th and Mill, and just waiting for the run to hit the Strava servers, and surrounded by, I think, 30 or 40 friends and family. And
Yeah.
it was a surreal moment. But yeah, I ended up taking the win by, I think, 20 segments or something.
And the guy who got second was happy for you, and he's still part of the deal.
Oh yeah, like we're good friends now. I mean, it was an intense battle at the time, and it was really cool because Chipotle ended up giving us both the grand prize last year.
That's neat.
Connor, what do you think for the future? You've touched on it. Where does this go from here?
Oh my gosh. I mean, we've talked about it, just a few days in when we saw this thing just really catch fire, but it really is limitless. I mean, we're talking about having pop-ups at different events where we can go and just define a segment right then and there. People say, see Burrito League. What's that? Come over. And I mean, one of the best things that I've seen is like how we are inclusive of so many sponsors, right? And they've been just throwing stuff at all the leagues to give away as prizes. And so there's that. And then really, you know, there, I would say a city isn't limited to just one, you know, segment and one league necessarily. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's like 3 or 4 in the Phoenix area next year. And this thing just keeps growing the way it is.
And you told me about we think one woman in Gila Bend going back and forth by herself.
Oh, she's amazing. She took a couple field trips to the Tempe segment. I saw her. She's training with a tire, like pulling a tire behind her. So
Oh my gosh.
I think she's preparing for some really long distance races.
Oh my
coming.
Whoa, that's intense.
Well, and I guess that was going to be my question too, where we live in Phoenix, which is beautiful right now in the valley. But of course, in a few months, it's going to be hell on earth. Is there any plans for like a Hell's Burrito league that you might have during the summer months?
On it.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're going to host some other pop-up events throughout the year. I don't know that we'll go a month in July. I think that would be intense. But the interesting thing is, you know, the Canadian leagues, the ones up north, we just had that intense storm across the East Coast. These leagues are going right through that. So their snowshoes, there was a runner who couldn't drive to her segment, I believe in
Burlington,
in Vermont. She ran 6 miles just to get to the segment in like knee-deep snow to just do 3 or 4 laps, and they ran 6 miles back home.
6 miles didn't count officially.
Correct.
Right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, the workout before the workout.
Love it.
That's
It's so
great.
cool because it's such a grassroots thing. And just to put a finer point on it, if it's a pop-up, it wouldn't necessarily just have to be in January. It could be anytime you do it.
Yeah, and we're really open with our hosts. We're really letting them take this where they want it to be in their local communities. Some are doing fundraisers. There's all kinds of things happening. So, and that's the best part of it all, is these are really drawing communities together. We're hearing people are meeting more people than ever in their running community, and it's just been a positive thing.
Real quick, so the final is Saturday.